So guys, this is what the shiitake mushroom looks like. This is what some of it looks like. I just wanted to show you this. So some of it is really crispy, and in order for it to taste, I think that, you see this? It's really crispy. This is when it really tastes like the bacon. Trust me, I have to tell you this. It really tastes like the bacon when it's crispy. So this, for instance, this one is not as crispy because you can still see some of the white areas, you know, like this one. So it's a bit rubbery. But this one, like this one, it's all brown and it's really crispy and it tastes like bacon. If someone closes his or her eyes and you put it into their mouth, they would think that it was bacon. And I think shiitake is the best so far for this. Like this right here is really crispy. So I just wanted to show you this after I took it out of the oven, 350 degrees for 30 minutes, or it's up to you how crispy you like it. And this is the portobello. And this one, you know, it's soft and it's soggy. So if you like the bacon that is not so crispy, this is a perfect substitute. 350 degrees again for about half an hour. So you could just test it and see, it's up to you. But I'm saying this is the best substitute for bacon if you're a vegan. So today I wanted to do this brunch. And I wanted to do another omelette 2.0, because it's a very popular dish on my channel. So I wanted to do another omelette, but I'm going to do like the crepe style, very thin omelette, and I'm going to stuff it with some peppers and avocado, and then have some watercress on the side and some sage biscuits, etc. So here I have, for my omelette, I have 1 cup of garbanzo bean flour and half a cup of white spelt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and some black salt. So I wanted to show you the black salt, because black salt, this is a black salt. See, black salt, it's a pinkish color and it has this eggy flavor. So when you want this eggy flavor, this is what you use, the black salt instead of the regular salt. All right, so this is what I use. So the crepe is a very thin batter, very thin. So I'm going to add water here until I get the consistency that I want. I have 2 cups of water here. So I'm going to mix this in and see if and I'm also going to fold in some aquafaba. So this is good, and I'm smelling that egginess. Although again, that garbanzo bean flour, it's so strong. Yeah, so this is the consistency that I want. You see, it's a very thin batter. It's very light. It's lighter than the pancake. So I'm going to mix in some aquafaba. This is about half a cup of aquafaba that you whip up. All right, about half a cup of aquafaba that you whip up. And then I like to let this sit for about 15 minutes before I go to the stove and start doing it. All right, so I'll get back to you. Okay, so guys, I'm at the stove. I'm gonna put a tiny sliver of butter in my iron pot. And I want this, remember, a crepe is a very thin pancake. So I'm using a quarter cup. Not a quarter cup, sorry, a half a cup. This is my half a cup here. So I'm using a half a cup, a little less than a half a cup, and I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to pick up my pan and move it around. So we're going to move it around to cover. It's almost covered anyway. I don't have to do much moving around. I'm going to turn up the stove and I'm going to let this cook. And then I'm going to turn it. I'm not going to put my filling because, you know, I want to cook it on both sides. Alright, so I'm going to get back to you when I'm turning this. Okay guys, so this is already cooked on the top here and I could turn it around. I'm so happy with this because it's not sticking. This is what is great about the iron. I wanted to show you one more time how I do this. This is not quite half a cup. It's a little less than half a cup for this pan. Because I need you to master the technique of this. So once you pour this into the pan, you have to pick up the pan and like move it around like this. You see, move it around like this to thin it out. I'm saying you could even put less for this pan. And this is a 9-inch in diameter, probably about that. So it's even a little bit less. So if I had put a little bit less, it would have been even thinner than this. And this is the point of a crepe. It's a really thin pancake. So I just wanted to show you this again. Alright, you have to pour it in and then you pick the pan up and you move it around and move it around so that the batter would cover the pan. So guys, I'm happy about this because you see I could turn it. It's easily turnable, if there is such a word. I'm going to flip this now. You see? And this is how it looks, very crepey. You see? You see how it looks here? Just like a crepe, and it's so thin. This up. So I have some sauteed veggies here. Some red onions, some white onions, some yellow peppers, some red peppers. I have some green chilies because I like the heat, some green onions, some oregano, and some salt. That's it, guys. And I'm going to also add some sliced avocado here. And some cilantro. All right. And now I'm going to try to fold this crepe. Right? I want the side, the other side to get some brown. So now we're gonna cover this up, flip it up. Let me see if this, yes. And don't be afraid to use your hands. All right? Okay, I need this to brown a little bit more. Because I want the outside to look like the inside. So let's flip this. See, you flip it like this. You might have to use your hands. So this is looking good, guys. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those little bacon bits, the shiitake bacon bits, and I'm going to plate this. I'm going to put my bits on it. I'm going to put some more avocados on it. And we're going to have our little brunch. So guys, here is our Sunday brunch. We have our omelette, which is, you know, we made it with the very thin batter, which is a crepe specifically. And I garnished it with some more of the onions and the peppers and the avocados. And I put 2 slices of tomatoes here that you can see. You know, you can see the avocado right here. And these are like my bacon bits. My bacon bits. And then I made these sage biscuits, which I have on my channel that I made many months ago. I made like some tiny ones. So I have 3 of my biscuits here, my sage biscuits. And I have a pile of watercress. So this is a perfect Sunday brunch for your family. All right. So I hope you do it. And I promise you this is delicious. All right. So take care and see you guys in the next video. So guys, to go along with our Sunday brunch, I decided to do a fruit cocktail. So I wanted to show you the result of what I'm gonna show you how to do. I made some fruit cubes. Here I have blackberries. This is a blackberry, raspberry, lime fruit cocktail with some ginger. All right, so this is what it is, and I'm going to show you how I got to this point. All right, so guys, these are the 3 fruits that we're going to use to make our fruit punch, or I would rather say fruit cocktail, right? That sounds more highfalutin. So I have some cherries here. This is about a cup, a little more than a cup. I have a 6-ounce packet of raspberries and also blackberries. And I washed and cleaned those. You have to make sure nowadays that you wash your fruits out. So I'm not going to use the food processor to puree this because I don't want any seeds in it, especially there are a lot of seeds in the blackberries. What I decided to do was use this strainer and a bowl, and you use your hands and you do this with your fingers so you can save some electricity. And put it into the sieve, into the strainer, and you mash it with your fingers like that. I'm going to show you in a minute the puree, and you see all of the seeds stay in the strainer. So all you have is the puree from the fruits, because I'm making the fruit cubes to put in my cocktail. So I don't want these seeds in there. You can also get a spoon and mash it and crush it up. You see, so you take the spoon and you do that. And then you do this, and you can see the puree. You see? You see it? It's only puree. There are no seeds in there. So this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to come back and show you the blackberries. Alright, these are the blackberries, and you do the same thing. I'm doing it in a separate bowl because I want 2 different color fruit cubes. And if I had just put the blackberries with the raspberry, the blackberry would just take over everything. So I want to have that contrast in when I look into my glass where I'm going to pour my mineral water over those cubes. I want to see the contrast. This is, you know, because I need that fizziness for my fruit cocktail. I'm not going to put just plain water. So I'm gonna finish doing this and then come back and show you what it looks like, the puree. Okay guys, like I showed you before, this is the puree for the raspberry. This is the puree from the blackberries. You see, this is all by hand, no machine necessary. So the cherries, I wanted to show you the cherries. These have seeds in it, so we have to get rid of the seed. You could do this with your hands like that. And this is very juicy. Or you can do it with a knife, this seed. So you do this. I don't want to remove too much of the juice, you see, and you remove it. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm squeezing because I don't want to lose the juice from the cherries. So I'm actually breaking it up with my fingers. It's not that difficult. And then once I break it up, then I start rubbing it like that, like I did the raspberry and the blackberry. Alright, I just wanted to show you this. So you don't have to punch it on the counter because you might lose a lot of the juice. So you could just squeeze it and then you continue doing this. Alright, so I'll get back to you. Alright, so now I'm going to add my other ingredients. So I have a piece of ginger. And don't forget to put your ginger in the freezer. It's going to stay forever. It's going to be fresh. And you grate it. See, this is this is the size. This is about 1.25 inches or something. This size. So I'm going to grate my ginger on the microplane. This is a really good tool to have. You see the ginger there? So again, I'm going to do half and half of this. Okay, you see the ginger? It's a microplane. Get one of those. So I'm going to do it in this one, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to put it in the ice trays. Alright guys, so we're going to put our puree into our ice trays to freeze. So here I have the blackberries mixed with some ginger and some lime juice and some agave syrup. So I'm doing half and half. 8 cubes of the blackberry, 8 cubes of the cherry and the raspberry. So we have the same ingredients. And I'm going to put this in my freezer overnight. But like I showed you, I already have some that is frozen. So I'm going to show you how to do what I do to do my fruit cocktail. Alright, so I'm going to put this in my freezer and I'm going to get back to you. And you could just cut up some lime. Of your, like that.